This is one proper labyrinth. Where now? Straight ahead or to the right?
Did you see that? In the room ahead?
What is that?
No idea, but it's moving.
Is that one of those shades?
Whatever it is, we shouldn't get too close to it. Be a good idea to close the door.
Huh? How did you know that the switch was the right one?
I didn't. That's what you call putting your faith in God. Richly decorated stone sarcophaguses. You'd probably only have highly respected people buried in these. But no noble Gordon would have themselves buried without them. So that means there probably isn't a Gordon lying here.
Dust, bones, and a crown. That has to be a king's grave.
Or a thief's, one that stole a king's crown.
I can feel something dark in this room. Ugh. The whole niche is full of human skulls. Well, not quite. Here's a bowl, rather nicely decorated. There's only dust in here. Oh, and a weird-shaped staff.
Looks like it could be like the ones that the bishops carry, or shepherds.
Now the dish is hanging right in the middle. There's a metal capsule hanging between the chain links. Is that a little door? So it is a door. And inside the capsule there's a golden key. Or maybe just gilded. Another gold key. Looks like all of the capsules have gold keys in them. I've got no idea how many of them there are. I really ought to find out what's going on with all this stuff. Ah, it fits here. I'm guessing that the keys in the other capsules could well fit, too. The locks are all undone. We ought to be able to open the door now. Highway to hell. Damn, the route is crumbling. I hope it's gonna hold out for a bit.
I think we've reached the chapel.
I almost feel like I've come home here.
No. This chapel was built by Marcus and Mordred. It was their last cooperative work. It really is a sacred place.
But Mordred used it for his own dark purposes.
I doubt that.
A skeleton.
Those are Maria's remains, Mordred's wife.
How do you know that?
That's a female skeleton. And you can see the sword tip in her ribcage. It broke off when Mordred murdered his wife.
You're right. A stone coffin with a skeleton in it.
If we were to believe the Book of the Guardians, that was once Mordred.
Hey Mordred, how does it feel to be looking into your own grave?
Huh, you two are getting closer. Please excuse me.
There's a whole bunch of hieroglyphics on the altar.
There's a sentence in Latin chiseled here. It means, at sunrise, the king sent his warriors into battle against the darkness. Unusual for an altar engraving.
Is that any use to us?
I don't know. Perhaps.
Wow.
We're definitely not in the catacombs anymore. This looks more like an alchemy laboratory.
I've been here before.
Mordred?
No, as a child. I've got a kind of faint memory of it.
Have a look around. Perhaps it'll come back to you more strongly.
Yeah. That's it. That's the hole that Angelina fell into as a child. I climbed in after her, but it's blocked up now. No wonder I couldn't find it up on the surface.
And how did you two get back out of there? Through the catacombs?
No. Bates. Oh, it was him. He got us out and then filled in the hole. But before that, we were at the portal. We were standing right in front of it. It's behind this door.
Had Angelina opened it?
I'm not sure anymore.
The book is open at the homunculus chapter. Is that a coincidence, or was Mordred busy creating an artificial life? Strange.
These are the best blades in the land, forged by the most skillful of smiths. Much too good for those butchers that my brother calls soldiers.
Adrian, you're scaring me. Please, put that away.
And yet, they're nothing compared to my sword.
Adrian, stop it!
Huh? What?
It's all right. Everything's okay. Just put the sword down and then everything will be fine. From now on, we'll have to watch out you don't pick up a sword again, okay? You're not going to go near a sword again, Adrian. Do you understand? We don't want you having an accident or anything, do we?
Okay, Sister Valentina. Is there a reason you're talking to me like some kind of wacko?
None. Apart from the fact that you look like one and are behaving like one. Your eyes have turned black again, and you're fiddling about with a sword, and you're speaking like Mordred. Now then, please do us both a favor and keep your fingers away from sharp-edged weapons.
So, how did Angelina just get in that time? Valentina,
Yes.
have you got any idea what all this machinery and stuff down here is for?
That's a perfectly equipped alchemy laboratory. Mordred was a man of science.
He's certainly not going to be able to help me with my physics studies. Alchemists were only bothered about creating gold.
That's not correct. There were definitely alchemists who worked on other things too.
Oh yeah, opening demon gates. I'd forgotten.
They also tried to concoct healing potions, or the opposites, poisons.
They were definitely more successful at the latter. Are you gonna let me take a look at your dagger?
What? No, definitely not.
I think I know how to open the door. It's quite simple.
All right then. I hope you know what you're doing. What are you doing there?
There was a door in the academy. It could only be opened with the blood of a Gordon. My blood. When I wanted to help Angelina as a child back then, I'd cut myself. That's why I was able to open the door.
Gordon blood. One further reason why only you can be the guardian. Let me go first.
Why?
I don't know what might happen when Mordred sees his beloved mirror again. Think about that thing with the swords.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
What does it mean? Is that Mordred? Or is that me? Why do I have the urge to touch the mirror?
No, it's Mordred who wants to make you do that. Don't touch the mirror, ever!
Okay.
The reflection shows your soul, and the part of Mordred that's within you.
Mordred? But why does he look like one of these shades?
Mordred's soul is still trapped behind the mirror. What you have in you is the shade of Mordred's soul. We somehow got to send Mordred's soul back into the Black Mirror, and do that without setting it free.
Okay. But how then? Haven't we just had an exorcism that went all wrong?
No, not an exorcism. We need something else. Are you sure there's nothing in Mordred's book you've overlooked?
Yeah, absolutely. I can show it to you if you want. These pages. There's some writing appearing. That must be Mordred's notes. But how come there's something there all of a sudden?
The mirror must have activated it, maybe?
If you believe my ancestors, it's possible that the soul leaves the mirror if the shade is already bound in this world. A reunion of soul and shade would constitute an unimaginable power potential. The soul belonging to the powerful and feared by all King Armundor is exactly the right one for my son to be made into, and what he would have become if my brother had not blah blah. The guy definitely would have benefited from a few sessions with Dr. Winterbottom. But hold it, there's something else here. Everything is prepared. Armundor's bones lie upon the altar. His shade will soon be bound to them. Nothing more stands in the way of the crossing over of his soul. Now all that has to happen is for the boy to be freed from the yoke of his contaminated soul. Soul transfer. Mordred's soul shade in me. Yes, of course. That's his plan. He's lured me here so that his ritual can be completed, and his soul can cross over into my body. That's exactly what the curse has been for.
Only Mordred hadn't reckoned with his soul shade landing in a guardian's body. That's the only reason you've held out for so long.
But that doesn't help us all that much. If we release this shade that's inside me, Mordred's soul will then enter me.
Shh, Adrian. I think I got an idea. Let me think about it for a minute. Adrian's reflection is a mix of his own soul and Mordred's soul shade. I don't have any better way of describing it. There's absolutely no way Adrian's soul can be allowed to lose the struggle against Mordred's shade. But what is on the other side? Only Mordred's soul? Or has Adrian got one of those soul shades as well? Adrian, can you read me the section about the shades from the Book of the Guardians, please?
The ancients' graves are watched over by their shades. Their fate has been thus for thousands of years now, with no end ever envisaged. They were born in death, and it is death they wish to spread. The ancients forced them into our world. Thus, they don't belong here. They can be neither caught nor appeased. However, the light from the green flame unsettles them. It drives them into the darkness. One should not come too close to them there. Their power is old, very old.
A shade is created in every case when somebody dies, but not in this world, but behind the mirror. I know from the Vatican files that there were human sacrifices here, in order to see if their souls were good or evil. The same sort of idea as witch burning. Mordred wrote that a soul could leave the mirror if its shade was already bound here, which is exactly the case here now. So, if Adrian were to die here, then Mordred would win. Adrian's soul would have been freed from eternity, and his body would take on Mordred's soul. But we have to get Mordred's soul shade out of Adrian one way or another. We absolutely have to make sure Mordred's actual soul can't leave the mirror. And Adrian's soul has to stay where it is.
Sounds right.
Adrian, have another look in Mordred's book. Maybe there's more there now.
I did not want him to die. I wanted to save him from his wretched fate. I wanted to make him my son again. My son, no bastard from the loins of my cursed brother. I have kept to the ritual exactly. Everything has worked well, only I was unable to bring a beat back to his heart. I tried everything, all in vain. From now on, I am quite alone. There is no one whom I can initiate. Marcus has taken everything from me, and now I shall take everything from him. I must make haste. My sword. First, I have to conclude the experiment with it. It appears that I have created a shade for it. That could mean that I can use it on the other side. If I succeed in crossing to the other side without dying, then I will rule both sides. Strange as the black stain on the blade, since its contact with the other side, the black is spreading inexorably. Rituals, experiments with a sword. What the hell was Mordred doing here?
It sounds like he was trying out an ancient druidic soul transfer ritual on his own son.
A soul transfer? He simply murdered him.
Does it give the procedure for the ritual in the book by any chance?
No.
I could give Adrian something to really slow his heartbeat down, like a poison. Then, that would have to free Mordred's soul from Adrian's body. But then, Adrian's soul would be freed as well, and he'd die. It could be possible to resuscitate him with adrenaline. I will only have to give him a small shot into a vein soon after. At that time, Mordred wasn't in a position to do that. Nobody knew about adrenaline back then. Today, it's possible. It's dangerous for sure, but it's the only possibility I can see right now. I'd better not say anything about it to Adrian, for now. Adrian's shade needs a weapon to conquer Mordred. But I'm afraid that an ordinary blade isn't going to do the job. Mordred's already dead. And you can't pass a weapon through the mirror just like that. Wait, Adrian, what was that just now in Mordred's book about his sword?
It says, strange as the black stain on the blade, since its contact with the other side, the black is spreading inexorably. And here, it appears that I have created a shade for it. That could mean that I could use it on the other side.
That's it. We need Mordred's sword.
Can't be all that difficult. Find a sword with a black stain.
Mordred's remains. According to Mordred, he used the bones of the dead to bring their shades into this world and then keep them here. So, we could lure Mordred's shade out of Adrian by using his bones, just like he once did with that king. Adrian, we need Mordred's bones for the ritual. Can you do that?
Yeah? In one piece?
Just remember how they all go together, and then lay them on the altar in the same layout. Okay, I think I know how we're going to do this.
I can't wait.
Right. The Black Mirror seems to be a portal into another world. A kind of shade world. If a human dies anywhere near the portal, then a shade is born on the other side of the mirror. At the same time, there are two possibilities for that person's soul. If they were of pure heart, their soul shade remains behind the Black Mirror, and their soul
Flies shade free up to heaven?
It's free, yes, but if that person was evil, then their soul is sucked from their shade into the mirror.
And then?
It's trapped. The souls in the mirror are slaves to the shades. They can become their instruments to be exploited.
Oh, that means that the shades are only evil if their soul was too.
Marcus was supposed to have battled his way through an army of shades before he killed his brother. Mordred has found out how to bring shades through the portal.
Okay, but Mordred's shade is already out. You can see that clearly from my reflection.
Correct. Therefore, his soul is more or less defenseless and alone behind the mirror and is just waiting until it can come through.
And that might happen if I touch the mirror. Is that it?
We don't want to find out. Therefore, we can bind Mordred's shade to his mortal remains. Doing that stops the shade from getting in our way, at least. And then your shade, Adrian, can take over Mordred's soul. Or even better, destroy it.
My shade? I thought a shade only comes into being when somebody dies.
You do have to die.
Okay. And why didn't you let me jump from the roof then? That would have been more comfortable.
Then you would be irretrievably dead. Adrian, I will resuscitate you. If your body shuts down for a few minutes, your soul will... How can I say this? Be free. I know there are plenty of near-death experience reports, which confirm this. A soul shade will generate simultaneously on the other side of the mirror.
Won't that cause some kind of brain damage?
Don't worry, Adrian. The human brain can get by for a few minutes without a heartbeat. Your soul will return to your body just as soon as you have a heartbeat again. It's not the first time I've come across this. Near-death experiences are usually what has happened when people believe that God has spoken to them.
Okay, and then? Is my soul shade supposed to strangle Mordred?
No. We know that Mordred has made the sword usable on the other side. To put it better, the soul-like mirror reflection. You'll take it to the other side and be able to kill Mordred's soul with it. Shades are stronger there than they are here.
Have I got this right? Souls are strong here, and the soul shades are weak?
Exactly, and the other way around too. Which means that Mordred's soul is very weak on the other side.
Well, that sounds like there's some absurd logic to it. And what's the story with Mordred's shade then?
We'll keep it outside the mirror using the bones, so that it can't cross over to defend his soul. After that, the same thing ought to happen to the shade that happens to a soul when the body dies.
It'll go back into the mirror.
But there would still be a problem.
Yeah?
You need Mordred's sword, and apart from the broken tip. I don't know where that is.
In the book, there was something about a blackness that came out from the sword, spreading itself even further.
Of course. That's why Greg and Steve had problems with that. The tea room, the fungus. There was a constant problem there with the damage, apparently, coming from the extinguishing water after the fire.
Then the sword has to be there. I'll go and get
Stop. You're not going to lay a hand on any kind of sword, and especially not one of Mordred's. I'll get it. I need to get the book from the library anyway. One about poisons. These down here are somewhat out of date.
And what am I supposed to do in the meantime?
You could lay out Mordred's skeleton on the altar. See you soon.
I can never remember the arrangement of the bones. I hardly ever paid attention in biology. There are just too few pictures of you, Mordred. I'll just take the big bones. All the bones from the hands and feet have already turned to dust. I hope that's not gonna upset Mordred's soul shade. I'll put the bones down first, so it's easier to sort them. Right, so let's see how good my anatomical knowledge is. Yep, that looks right. Now I just have to wait for Valentina.
One sword with a broken tip. Mordred's sword. I still need the book about poisons from the library. After that, I'll go back to Adrian. Hopefully he was able to put Mordred's skeleton back together. I've got the sword. Have you done it?
Mordred's skeleton's lying ready on the altar.
Good. Are the bones lying like they were before?
Head at the top, legs at the bottom. I reckon so. Have we got everything we need?
Looks like it. The poison's ready as well.
Is it gonna hurt?
Probably not. It paralyzes the heart muscle, but don't worry. I've got a syringe full of adrenaline here to bring you back to the land of the living.
Sounds like one of Phil's torture experiments, with me taking the Ralph role.
It'll be okay, Darren. Put your trust in God. Now, I'm going to get the poison, and then we can get started. Poison. It slows down the circulation and then the heart stops. Pain-free. I've had to do this all rather quickly, unfortunately. But the books in the library say it ought to work. Good. You have to drink this.
Wait, if I don't manage to finish off Mordred, what happens then?
You have to win. It's your only chance. If you don't manage it, he'll kill you and his soul will take over your body.
How are you gonna know if I've done it? What I mean is, when will you resuscitate me?
I'm going to have to give you the adrenaline within 5 minutes at the latest, or else you'll die. Adrian, you have to do it.
All right. Valentina?
Yes.
See you later.
Yes. See you later, Adrian. Something's not right. Oh god, that's Mordred's soul. And that isn't Adrian's soul shade. I think he's done it. I need to get him back quickly, or else he'll be gone forever. Oh no, it's not working. Adrian! Adrian, come back! Thank God, you're alive.
What happened? I feel sort of different.
You've beaten Mordred, and the curse along with him. You've done it.
Really? The curse is finally broken?
Yes, the last of the Gordons has done it. Let's get out of this place and never come back. friend. How are you getting on?
Pretty well, I think. I'm done with the main points. Now I just have to get everything across into the Book of the Guardians. Do you want to have a look for yourself?
If I may.
Here, I'm not sure about this last point.
That's already a good beginning. When are you going to put it into the Book of the Guardians?
Not before I eat. Anyway, now I know what all those black balls were about.
I can't wait.
Mordred writes in his book that he had carried out a soul transfer ritual, but instead of all the bones, he had only used the skull and one black ball. The shade didn't go back into the mirror anymore after that, but always stayed close by the ball.
Ah, then you can trap souls with these balls as well. To all intents and purposes, they can be thought of as the body, right?
It gets better. Here, with the help of the soul trapped in the ball, one can, to a certain extent, control the shade. He writes that he put a ball in his brother's bedchamber, under the bed, in the hope that the shade would rob his soul in the night. But that didn't work. He suggests that Marcus's soul was too pure for the shade. What do you think? Do you think there are still shades going around today, doing all the evil stuff?
I don't know. But if there are, then it's your job to stop them.